the guys' effort. But to win in a place like this, and it's really hard to win here, trust me, I understand that better than anybody. You have to have a whole team effort. And I mean, staff, managers, everybody is very, very valuable in that equation. So I lost my voice, excuse me. But, so I'm really pleased to have, as the leader of this program, a group of young men and men that are all locked in. I think when you have that, you got a chance every given night. And defense and some adjustments, again at half, helped us to get over the top. So 18 steps in this ladder, and 3 are complete. So got to get ready for the next one.
What does this win mean as far as moving forward for this team?
Just another step. You know, we're very mission driven, and there's going to be adversity. So we just have to handle that as it comes, fall back on our training, fall back on our standards, our core values, our principles of how we operate, and get through those moments like the loss that we had in Hawaii. We'll use that as a lesson and experience. And, you know, that loss might have came right at the right time, you know, because we fell back on the things that we knew we needed to do defensively to win games. So.
What did you tell your team at half? What was the big adjustment that you think you made at half?
I think our press offense, putting Noah in the middle of the press, getting the ball handler in there so we could attack it a little bit more aggressively. You know, we have a theory we like to use, which we like to punish people for pressing us. But we weren't doing that in the first half. The press was very effective. We only had 5 turnovers, but it took us out of the running out of rebels, running out of running rebels. So we needed to try to shore that up at half. And then we did some other things that probably won't get into too much detail because we're playing in about 2 weeks. So hopefully those things will work for us.
Your
again.
guard play was excellent. Penetrated deep at the end. Was that the difference?
It was one of the major differences offensively. I thought the key stops in winning time, I thought were probably inevitably the reason we won the game. But yeah, I thought that we were able to get into the paint off the bounce a little bit, and so we did some good things. I mean, Paul's found a nice recipe to kind of right the ship. So fortunately for us, we were on the winning side of this win column tonight.
What's it do with the Maki?
With the Mbake's ankle?
Is it ankle?
I don't know. He's still. I know he taped it up and put on a shoe and tried to go and couldn't go. So we'll find out.
What did you think of the way that Robotham played, especially defensively?
That was the best game of the year. By far, it was the most complete game of the year. He had a big shot at BYU, but I'll take one that fit over that one. And we don't win without him tonight. I thought he was very balanced. He was a great leader. He echoed on the floor and talked. And echo is our term that we use to make sure everybody knows what we're in. He took care of the ball. He defended their best player to a high level. That's exactly what a fifth-year senior point guard is supposed to do. And he's supposed to do it in conference, and that's what he did.
What did you tell to Coach Weir after the game? And I also saw you kind of like hold on to Anthony Mathis. What did you conversate with him?
I just told him how, you know, he's got a lot of confidence. He's a good player, but he needs to know that the the coaches in the conference really respect him as how he does his business, how he operates in interviews, how hard he works. We hear the stories about his commitment to his own improvement, and you see his development throughout his tenure here. That doesn't happen without you being a quality person. So I just let him know that part of our scouting report was to try to do everything we could to stop him. And luckily, it was successful tonight, and it always hasn't been that way. I've played him before, and he's got the better of us before. So I just want to let him know to keep. There's a lot of basketball left in conference, and then Paul obviously is like a little brother. So I hate playing him because either I'm mad because I lost or I'm mad because he lost. It's not a matchup that I like to participate in, but it's a necessary evil of my profession. You're going to run into people that you have close ties with or that you used to coach with. But Paul and I were together for 9 years, and this town here is very hard. They're very critical, and they're very passionate. So I just want him to focus on what he knows how to do and try to blank out that noise as much as he can. It's tough, but it's part of the prerequisites for being successful and not having a heart attack. You know, it's just you got to lock into your team and your guys, insulate yourself, circle the wagons, and just go to work. And that's his mentality. And so he'll be okay. This is one loss. They're 2-1 in conference, so they'll be fine.
You went deep in the bench, I'm guessing, because of the altitude mostly, right?
We didn't feel the altitude. The signs may have implicated that we did, but we didn't.
I mean, was that the strategy though, to keep?
Yeah. Well, we wanted fresh legs because we thought and we wanted a lot of skilled guys out there because of the pressure that they applied. But we didn't feel it. But maybe that's why we didn't feel it, because we played more guys. So, I guess to answer your original question, yes, I wanted to have more legs out there so we could be fresh. But I didn't. But I don't think the guys felt it as much as I thought they were.
Significant minutes for Marvin Coleman, Nick Blair. How much trust and confidence do you have to have in them to play them in a game like this for important minutes?
You have to have a lot, and the character that they have, you're okay with. You know, if we don't come out successful, you're okay because that guy right there will take a bullet for you. And Nick hasn't played at all. I think he might have got in 1 or 2 minutes earlier in the year, but he competes every day in practice. He's one of our toughest guys, and I knew this environment wouldn't bother him. You know, I almost went to Trey there for a minute, and you know, he hadn't played in this atmosphere before, but neither had Marvin. I was going to go to Trey, and when I went to him, I looked at the comparisons of the length of Ben, and then I kind of said, you know, I want to go with a longer guy because they were bigger, and Trey doesn't care. Trey just wants to win. You can't play however many guys you have every game, but you can play all of them at some point in some games, and that's what we'll inevitably do for the guys that earn it. And the guys that return will have more minutes next year as well.
You took the crowd out of the game. How'd you do it?
Points. Anytime you have more points on the board and you're playing hard, sometimes your fans, that's the, you know, listen, the fans in Albuquerque are very, very passionate. And they have high expectations, not for every game, but for every possession. So if you play really good basketball for a stretch period of time, you can get them a little down. And I thought we had really good consecutive stops, and I think they fouled us a couple times. And I just think their whole energy just dipped at the end of the game. When the Lobos needed them the most, they were in too much pain to cheer. I don't know if I should say that, but that's how I felt. I felt like they got to be. If you're gonna be in there and cheer for them, you got to do it the whole game. You can't. You're not out there playing. They're out there playing, sweating, and giving their all. And those kids work their tails off. So you got to cheer to the bitter end. It affected us earlier in the game, for sure.
Defensively, what was the biggest difference for you guys between the first half and the second half?
I just think the guys in the interior did a really good job of playing solid defense. But you guys know I was face guarding a lot of the game, so I really didn't see a lot. So I know we had adjustments, but I was I had to stay a lot on Mathis, so I really couldn't even really see. So when guys were making jump hooks, I was seeing the back end of plays. And even when they tipped the ball out at the end, it's for a Mathis 3, so I wasn't even going in for any rebounds, so it was hard for me to see a lot of the game today.
What was your assignment on Mathis? What were you trying to do then?
Just kind of stay in front, make it tough for him. I watched a lot of film on him, and I watched a lot of his games last year. My teammate Antono went to New Mexico last year, so I got to watch a lot of games, and I kind of pick up on some of his tendencies, but just kind of stay in front, make it tough on him. He's a great player, makes big shots, but make it as tough as possible.
You mentioned after the last game that you thought a key to attacking the zones, you guys were aggressive. Did you carry that over into the night? I mean, was it the success you had against that zone?
Yeah, absolutely. That team typically runs a lot of man, and I think in the last 4 or 5 games they've ran zone. But if you come out of a man, that probably means that you can't guard the bounce that well. So even though they were in zone, we were trying to attack them and get downhill and try to make it as tough as possible for their bigs. They're I think, the 6th biggest team in the country. So we definitely try to do a job of getting downhill and making the bigs make plays.
Can you talk about just a full team effort, guys that normally aren't getting minutes coming in and giving some good minutes on the defensive side especially? Yeah,
absolutely. Marv, Ben, Nick, they play really well. Marv as a freshman to play significant minutes at probably the most hostile environment in the Mountain West was pretty unbelievable. Ben did a really good job. And Nick, he has that Michigan blood kind of run through him, so I knew he'd be ready for the game. But he was very physical, they're a really good team and they're physical. So we needed a lot of guys, and we haven't played this type of elevation yet. But I'm really proud of the guys. Like I said last game, we played against 7 Wyoming players. Today, I think we probably played 11, 12 guys, so it was really good for us. Strength in numbers.
So it's one thing to beat 2 teams that are struggling at home, but to come here and beat this team, come off a big win, just how much can you guys feed off of that going forward?
I think we feed off it a lot. They're a great team. It's a hostile environment. We have a lot of freshmen on this team, but experience is the best teacher, and I don't think they could get that game back. So I think they could kind of ride that experience until the next game. Now we play at Air Force, which would be a tough place to play, but the way we handled it today, the adversity, I thought guys did a really good job, kind of just buying in what the coaches said, and we came out the W.
Was this the best night of penetration from your guards?
I think so. I thought we did a really good job. Pacific, I thought we bounced the ball pretty well. BYU, I thought we bounced the ball pretty well. But it's definitely up there.
Could it be the reason you won this game, the deep penetration?
Yeah, I definitely think it was part of it. But, you're not going to win any games if you don't get any stops. So our defense was probably the number one reason why we won that game. But I think the dribble penetration was a big reason why we won that one, too.
Thanks, Doc. Chris, that three-pointer that you hit, that dagger to put you guys up 7 with a minute left. Can you just take me through that play and then that shot and what you're thinking as you let it go and you saw the play unfold?
We just moved the ball around a little bit, Noah, he ended up finding me with a bounce pass. And bring back to last year, I missed the game winner here, so that 3 right there, that was a big time shot for me to be able to knock it down. Been in gym all week working on that, so it was pretty special for me.
How did you feel?